Now, I can't tell you exactly where he was born or when he was born, and there's been a lot of conversation about that. But what I do know is that when he enlisted in the United States Army during World War II, the enlistment date was January 20th. I know that he served honorably in both the European theater and in the Philippines. What I didn't know was how well he served. What I didn't know was the history of the unit that he served with. Now, there's a movie out about the 761st Armored Battalion, or during that time, the 761st Tank Battalion. What I didn't know was that was the first Afro-American fighting unit in World War II. What I didn't know was Jackie Robinson was a part of that unit when it was initially formed. What I didn't know was that Jackie Robinson was not part of its history. The 61st, the Black Panthers, whose motto was, "Let's come out fighting," served honorably throughout the campaigns throughout Europe. They fought for something like 183 days continuously. And if you've ever been in combat, you have to appreciate what that means. When you hear things about Patton, General Patton,
Right.
in the Third Army, to understand that they were a spirit, you have to understand what that means. And having said that, I'm not going to break down because I'm going to call upon Dee Dee to post orders for the President of the Unit Citation, the 761st Armored Battalion.
Headquarters, Department of the Army, Washington, D.C., 10 April 1978. The Presidential Unit Citation Award by the President of the United States of America to the following unit of the Armed Forces of the United States is confirmed in accordance with paragraph 9-2 AR 672-5-1. The text of the citation, signed by President Jimmy Carter on 24 January 1978, reads as follows. By virtue of the authority vested in me as President of the United States and as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the United States, I have today awarded the Presidential Unit Citation to the 761st Tank Battalion, United States Army. Bridget? Yvette.
The 761st Tank Battalion distinguished itself by extraordinary gallantry, courage, professionalism, and high esprit de corps displayed in the accomplishments of unofficially difficult and hazardous operations in the European Theater of Operations from 31st of October 1944 to the 6th of May 1945. During 183 days in combat, elements of the 761st, the 1st United States Army Tank Battalion, committed to battle comprised of black soldiers, were responsible for inflicting thousands of enemy casualties and for capturing, destroying, or aiding in the liberation of more than 30 major towns, 4 airfields, 3 ammunition supply dumps, 461 wheeled vehicles, 34 tanks, 113 large guns, 1 radio station, and numerous individual and crew-served weapons.
Wow. Bridget?
In one of the first major combat actions of the 761st in the vicinity of Ville-sur-Ciel and Morville-les-Vicq, France, the battalion faced a reinforced enemy division. Despite the overwhelming superiority of enemy forces, elements of the battalion initiated a furious and persistent attack which caused defending enemy's elements to withdraw. While pursuing the enemy, tanks of the 761st were immobilized before an anti-tank ditch. Savage fire from enemy bazooka and rocket launcher teams positioned 50 yards beyond the ditch disabled many of the vehicles. Crewmen dismounted the disabled tanks, crawled under them with their .50 caliber weapons, and placed withering fire upon the enemy positions. This resulted in the elimination of many of the positions and virtually destroyed 2 enemy companies while permitting the escape of other tanks and crews and eventual completion of the mission. Dee Dee?
One of the most significant accomplishments of the 761st began 20 March 1945, when, acting as the armored spearhead, the unit broke through the Siegfried Line into the Rhine Plain, allowing units of the 4th Armored Division to move through to the Rhine River. During the period 20 March 1945 to 23 March 1945, the battalion, after operating far in advance of friendly artillery, encountered the fiercest of enemy resistance in the most heavily defended area of the war theater. Throughout the 72-hour period of the attack, elements of the 761st assaulted and destroyed enemy fortifications with a speed and intensity that enabled the capture or destruction of 7 Siegfried towns, 31 pillboxes, 49 machine gun emplacements, 61 anti-tank guns, 451 vehicles, 11 ammunition trucks, 4 self-propelled guns, 1 170mm artillery piece, 200 horses, and 1 ammunition dump. Enemy's casualties totaled over 4,100, and those captured were determined, and of those captured, it was determined that the 761st in the Siegfried Line attack had faced elements of 14 different German divisions. The accomplishment of the 761st in the Siegfried area were truly magnificent, as the successful crossing of the Rhine River into Germany was totally dependent upon the accomplishment of their mission. And with that, we have a presentation. Catherine?
Corporal Joseph T. Thomas, present.
The Presidential Unit Citation for the 761st Tank Battalion Division. Come out fighting, Dad. Always come out fighting. The Black Panthers. We'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go, long as he wants to go, opposite to the foe. We'll follow the old